This story right here involves a couple of things that I have a significant amount of appreciation for. The Olympics, especially the Summer Olympics. It should probably be the only Olympics because the Winter Olympics don't really grab me with anything, and most of it involves external equipment to accomplish anything, which is kind of against the entire spirit of the Olympics to begin with. And co-ed sports, is that what we're going to be talking about? Trans sports, whatever I tell you, but I think it's a pretty significant thing. All right, because women fought for their own sports, and that's the way it should be. You can't properly compete against a man in any significant way. A man and a woman with the same amount of training cannot properly compete against each other in a physical endeavor. It's just biologically impossible. Sucks to suck. I've met a ton of strong women, met a ton of strong men. Yes, a strong woman can beat a weak man, and a lippy woman can get beat by a strong man. It's a very, very wide range of athletes out there. And I think that allowing weaker men, lesser men who couldn't succeed in their given vocation to just, I don't know, say, I'm a lady all of a sudden, and go ahead, cross the line, and then just fucking dominate the competition, because then you just get rid of the entire point of what everybody was struggling for to begin with. And, hey, I think it's a big thing because I see this as the top of the slippery slope, but apparently if you're one of these big brains at the ACLU, you don't think that it's that big of an issue. The idea of trans dominance is completely overblown, ACLU Deputy Director for Transgender Justice. Don't you think that this person probably has a little bit of a motivated reasoning behind them? I don't know. The Wisconsin Assembly became the latest legislative body in the United States to pass a measure banning transgender athletes for playing girls and women's sports on Wednesday. God, even with that awful governor, Wisconsin can still get it done. You love to see it. It's the power of the legislature, your state senators and your state members of the House. They're all very important, and you should know who represents you. Just a little sidebar. The fight over the right of transgender athletes to compete in girls' and women's sports have spilled to more than a dozen states as lawmakers in Idaho, Montana, West Virginia, Alabama, Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, and most recently Florida have passed legislation since the beginning of 2020 to ban them from the field, and an easily rescindable executive order from both Dakotas. I know specifically that was the one where I was like, yeah, Kristi Noem, come on now. There was a bill that was passed through the South Dakota House, and she vetoed it because, well, we're going to be missing out on specific NCAA tournaments, and we could lose out on money for that, and some of my dark money donors don't really like that. Meanwhile, every other governor out there was like, yeah, no, this is kind of fucking retarded. I think Texas is also, should be on that list, or they have a bill that's right there, but that was also another one of the bills that was vetoed by stupid-ass Doug Ducey, so otherwise, Arizona would be on that list, but we gotta get a budget done. Fuck off, Doug. Well, these measures have been passed in mostly Republican-leaning states. Some have been vetoed by Democrats, such as Kansas Governor Laura Kelly. Starting to see a through line here. Chase Strangio, a transgendered man who serves, go figure, ACLU's Deputy Director for Transgender Justice, a representation at work. You're gonna hurt my feelings if you don't allow us to do what we want. Fuck off. Pushed back against the notion of transgender athletes have an unfair physical advantage over girls and women. The idea of trans dominance is completely overblown. It's a myth. That said, well, how about somebody competing in one of the competitions? I would much rather take their perspective on this. Female Belgian weightlifter says allowing New Zealand transgender athlete Laurel Hubbard to compete in the women's event at the Tokyo Olympics is a bad joke. Yeah, yes it is. Very much so. Anna Vanbellinghen said inclusion should not be at the expense of others. Exactly. Belgian weightlifter Anna Vanbellinghen has said allowing transgendered New Zealand athlete Laurel Hubbard to compete in a women's event at the Tokyo Olympics is unfair and the situation is like a bad joke. Hubbard, who competed in a men's competition, but I was trying to do some research for this and see if this dude was successful before becoming a chick in the same event. And his trophy case was looking a little bit barren, but then as soon as he became a she, boy, did the medals start racking up. It's fucking weird, but this could just be a one-off situation, right? Right? Hubbard, who competed in men's competitions before transitioning in 2013, is set to become the first transgender athlete to compete in the Olympics after weightlifting governing body modified qualifying requirements in Tokyo because they want to see a freak show, I guess. They want to see Godzilla become a reality. The 43-year-old, a lot of athletes in the Olympics are well retired by the age of 43, but this dude thinks he's going to come in and smoke the rest of these chicks. Seems fair to me. Still has to satisfy the New Zealand Olympic Committee of her fitness and performance standards before sanctions, but the prospect of her participating has already raised questions. Yeah, you don't say, by somebody who's previously medaled and is obviously of a high performance level in said vocation. Vanbellinghen, who competes at the same 87 kilogram division, damn, that's a big bitch, as Hubbard, said she fully supported the transgender community, but the principle of inclusion should not be at the expense of others. Exactly, and that's where I'm at. I don't give a shit what you want to do with your dick or your axe wound. I don't give a shit what you want put in or where you want to stick whatever you have. That's your business. I don't care about any of that shit. And I don't think it should really matter to anybody else. If you need validation, if you think that Pride Month should be something that should be celebrated by everybody regardless of their own personal opinions, then you, my friend, have self-esteem issues and you should probably be working on those. Anyone that has trained weightlifting at a high level knows this to be true. In their bones, a particular situation is unfair to the sport and to the athletes, she told the Olympic news website Inside the Games. Hubbard, who has been eligible to compete at the Olympics since 2015, when the IOC issued guidelines allowing any transgender athletes to compete as a woman, provided their testosterone levels are below 10 nanomoles per liter and at least 12 months before their first competition. Many scientists have criticized these guidelines, saying bone density, muscle transformation, and this fucking new bitch only transitioned when she was 35 fucking years old. Okay? She got all the benefits of male puberty. She got all the testosterone running through her system. And then all of a sudden, oh my god, I just couldn't win. And then, yeah, okay, cool. After all of my musculature development has already achieved as high as it possibly can, I'll just go ahead and start smoking these bitches out of the gym. And we're just going to do a little comparison here. Because there's Anna. Okay, obviously. Clearly, strong woman. Good form. Well, great form. She's an Olympic lifter, for Christ's sakes. And doing the snatch. It's one of the 2 Olympic lifts that are out there. And she's a biological woman. Okay? That would be what you have normally if the world weren't totally insane. For everybody else, it'd be up there competing in the same weight category. It wouldn't look a hell of a lot different for anybody smaller, and 87 kilograms is one of the higher, if not the highest. I think that there's an extra category, so these guys would be like the light heavyweights, if it were. And then we just went back to the first page because we got to take a look and compare and contrast this beautiful, stunning, and brave 43-year-old woman. You notice shoulders immediately hop off the page to me, okay? That dude is built like a fucking defensive end. Other than growing out his hair, it's like, what, you know, ain't even going to put in any effort to making the transition, but I'm sure you got a couple of needles stuck in your ass. Cool, good for you. And then, yeah, okay, you got shoulders, which are noticeably smaller. And these people are in the same weight category. Like fuck right off. But it's like, okay, maybe there's not that big of a difference. Okay, maybe men aren't lifting a hell of a lot more than women. Obviously. Okay, so we got the 2 Olympic lifts on there. We got the snatch and the clean and jerk, and this is for the men, as you can see right here. And unfortunately, we got to use Wikipedia, but it's just easily verifiable information, so I'm fine with using that. So you got at the 89 kilogram. Okay, close enough for comparison's sake right now. The snatch, 179 kilograms. Nothing to sneeze at whatsoever. That is a huge fucking lift. And 216 for the clean and jerk. And now if we take a look at a comparison for the women, 132 and 164. Or even fuck it, just go to the heavyweight category. 148, 187. What? That seems close. It's not fair. Okay, weightlifting, strength categories. Normally the athletes have a much longer window of opportunity to compete at a high level. It's one of those things, strength lasts a lot longer than just what the quick twitch fibers in your body can produce for a long period of time. That's why you don't see too many sprinters over the age of, 33? It's normally when you're pushing it, right? Swimmers, same thing. Like even Phelps, when he was back in, Rio? Did he compete in Rio? Maybe it was the cycle before that. He was the other side of 30, and he was looked at as a geriatric, but he still completely fucking crushed the competition. But that is somebody who is a complete and total aberration. Just like Laurel. And yeah, you can look forward to a couple of these world records probably being smashed. I'm not too sure because not really a flattering picture, and, it's Breitbart after all. She's in... No two ways about it. This is going to be a fucking disaster. Laurel Hubbard becomes first trans athlete to compete at the Olympics. Stunning and brave. The International Olympic Committee has announced that Laurel Hubbard, a male who identifies as a woman, will become the first trans athlete to compete in the Olympics. According to ESPN, Hubbard was among 5 weightlifters confirmed Monday in New Zealand's team for Tokyo. To be fair, they don't really have that big of a group of people out there to really pull for them, so whoever kind of showed up probably ended up making the team. At 43, she will also become the world's oldest weightlifter at the Games and will be ranked 4th in the competition on August 2nd in women on 192 pounds and over, so it's going to be the heavyweight category, so look forward to some records being broke. I'm grateful and humbled by the kindness and support that has been given to me by so many New Zealanders, Hubbard said in a statement. When I broke my arm at the Commonwealth Games 3 years ago, which is kind of a side effect. I know we've talked about this a lot, but when you start fucking around with your hormones, and especially you start introducing a lot more estrogen into your system, your bones tend to become much more brittle, hence why menopause and osteoporosis normally go hand in hand. It's fucking weird something like that would happen. Anyways, I was advised by my sporting career had likely reached its end. But your support, your encouragement, my recent transition, and your love carried me through the darkness. The last 18 months has shown us all that there is strength in kinship, the community, and the working together towards a common purpose. Crushing those fucking bitches out there, am I right, guys? The manna of the silver fern comes for you all, and I will wear it with pride. Stunning and brave. I like the Olympics. I'm going to be paying attention to the Olympics. It's going to be a little bit tough because it is, of course, over in Tokyo, so the time change is going to be a fucking bitch, but I know which sport I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye on and hopefully provide you guys with some updates about some new world records. Records of the world, after all. Oh, this is just disgusting, but at the same time, this is going to go ahead and give everybody the ammo they need to hopefully overturn these fucking retarded laws. I think the only way to come to an amicable solution to this is probably to have a men's category, a women's category, and a circus freak category. I think if we do that, some people might shut up long enough for us to just go back to regular life. But other than that, guys, I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Catch y'all later.